And what's up, everybody? Welcome to East Meets West, episode 3, an impromptu podcast. And you all know what it's about. So I'm going to bring in my guest, Rob from Rule of Two Reviews, joining me tonight. What's up, man?
What's up? Ready to talk about all of the chaos from today. The aftermath continues.
Yeah, I always jokingly said that we do the podcast on Monday no matter what. If the NX gets revealed on Tuesday, we'll talk about it on the following Monday.
Uh-oh. You're totally right. You went back on your word.
This
Wow.
isn't the Juice is Loose, so this
good
is
call.
different.
Yeah,
But
that's a nice loophole you got. I like it.
And we're not going to go over everybody knows the information, so we're just going to talk about it. I thought we could
Sure.
Well, I haven't given my take. I'm going to say to anyone that wants your full take, and they might get most of that here, but you just uploaded a really good video giving your take and your kind of your viewpoint on it. And,
yes, I did. Yeah, today. Mm-hmm.
But I think that was before you might have known that Kimishima interview, which was just recently.
So. I didn't know that happened. You had kind of shared that video before we started, and I watched some of it, and I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
So anyway, my feelings are, like, honestly, I don't care. I'm not mad about the release date for the NX. I don't care that that Zelda U was getting a dual release. I never had a problem with that concept. And I'm not even that bugged by the E3 plans. I mean, a little bit. Considering what we know now, it kind of makes sense, but overall it's a little perplexing. But the thing, all this would be completely fine if Zelda wasn't delayed for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everything gets amplified because of the Zelda delay. So as you know, I got Wii U and a PC, and I don't play PC a lot, so I don't really have anything. I don't know that I'll buy another Wii U game, period.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see. I don't know. Paper Mario was never on my list anyway, and I really doubt that game's existence on Wii U at this point. So, so that's just my quick thoughts. You know, everything's pretty fine with me except for the Zelda delays. It's not that I'm mad, because I feel that there has to be a good reason. It's just a bummer. It sucks I won't be able to play that awesome game.
It's a surprise for sure.
And yeah, I did not expect that. That was completely unexpected. So I thought we could start with just a couple of the positives, from this. And there's not a lot. I mean, I didn't give you any advance notice, so I'll go first. Huge positive, though, is a major Zelda blowout of footage, hands-on, in less than 2 months. We'll know. I'm thinking we'd know the name, and we're gonna see the game playable form, and it's gonna get a huge blowout. And I think that's awesome. And then Mizati, sorry man, I just wanted to start on time. I figured you could jump in. So yeah, I was just finishing my thought there on one positive is that we're gonna get a full Zelda blowout in less than 2 months, which is good. So, What's up, T?
What's up?
What's up, man?
What's going on, guys?
Yeah.
How you feeling? You sound a little down.
I just woke up. I cried myself to sleep. So
in the middle of the day. Did you wake up in a pool of vodka?
Yeah, so that's why I sound like I just woke up like 5 minutes ago.
Well, it was good. Sure. Another positive was Mizati and Coronas in another video.
Yeah.
That was fun. So basically, I just said that I'm not mad about anything, really, until the Zelda delay. Like I said, that amplified everything and made everything worse, because if Zelda was going to be there on the Wii U in November, then nothing else, none of the other news really affects me. Like, I'm cool with it. But the fact that Zelda is delayed, that's a bummer.
And that's the real question, right? Is why Zelda was delayed? Of all of these things.
We'll talk about that.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But so T, I'm going over a couple positives that I got out of all this. There's only two. One was the Zelda blowout. Like, we're gonna get just a ton of information, and it's less than 2 months away. So that's exciting. I can't wait to see that game. And the other is just we now know that the NX is coming out, March 2017. So I don't think, maybe there was one rumor that kind of said that, but all the other ones just pretty much proves everyone was wrong. Everyone was saying 2016, this and that. So it's just nice to know that you don't have to worry about that thought anymore. Like, it's coming out probably around March 2017.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we were wrong, though. I think we were right, and then stuff happened, and now we're
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the things we'll discuss. So, can anybody else come up with some positives?
I can't think of anything else because you just. I just want to tell anybody who's was anticipating me on Gamers at Large. I just tried like 4 times to join the Hangout, and something was not working. So
that happens sometimes with Hangouts.
Yeah,
though.
I just tried like 4 times, and I jumped right into you guys. So
All right.
this one's working.
Well,
Sorry, guys.
Well, got to jump out for something over there. That's cool. So we're gonna try to get this in under an hour. By the way.
Yeah.
Well, if I can, the only other positive I can think of though to build off that is, for me, I actually think that a 2017 release is pretty smart for the NX overall. I guess.
Yeah, you've been saying 2017 forever.
For a while, like from the get-go, when the first rumors started to pop up, which was like last year, like a while ago last year, that Nintendo's looking at 2016 and they're gonna release it in July and they're gonna sell 20 million units in 43 hours and all these stupid things started.
So
and I was
why?
like, no way, 2017.
Let me ask you.
That's a positive, I guess, right?
To a degree.
Some of the rumors won't be as wild anymore going forward.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
But now they're going to be like
prints of fake NX. They're going to do the whole console.
Boy.
That would. I mean, I'd like to see what someone would come up with, though. It'd be cool just to see what someone would come up with. But are you happy about it from just a gamer standpoint, from looking at Nintendo as a fan of like?
I mean, that's a really tough question. Like, I can't really. I guess as a fan, no, not really. I'm not happy about it. It's all the information is weird. The delay of Zelda and moving to NX to 2017, it's weird. Like, I'm okay with it in the sense that I feel like it could give the Wii U like it's got 5 years. Okay, there was 5 years that the Wii U was around. That's cool. I think 2017 makes more sense, but technically, you're totally right. Like, we don't have anything.
They kind of just killed the Wii U at the same time.
Yeah, they totally did, and it's all very strange. But I mean, you bring up a good question, Terminator, because you can't think that we have anything else as Nintendo gamers to play. Like, if you're a Nintendo fan, we'll probably have some 3DS games, but we're not going to have any console games. Maybe some surprises at E3, but maybe we can get into that in a bit. So
that last Direct, Nintendo said they're shooting for a 2016 release for Paper Mario. Like that, they didn't lock it in. They just said that their goal was a 2016.
Yeah,
release.
they're like, we'll tell you more about that later, and they just kind of ended.
That's just odd that wasn't locked in 2016, and then it's not gonna be playable. So would it even be at E3? I mean,
well, they probably were. I'm sure that when that Nintendo Direct happened, now like a month ago or whatever, they probably known for a while what their plan was going to be. I'm sure they've known for months and months. Okay, the NX will reveal it at this time. We will release it at this time, and releasing it is now March 2017. They probably have known that. And same with the Zelda thing. Although the Zelda thing might have been a last-minute decision, that's a little bit harder to kind of figure out. So.
You said Paper Mario?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, like, if Paper Mario was ready, why wouldn't that be playable at E3?
Yeah, exactly.
That was actually going to happen this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Like,
yeah, and it's
especially
like, if it isn't going to come out till late 2016, why even release it on Wii U? I mean,
December or something.
It'd be like a nice compliment to like Zelda, and when you got some of these summer games, it might have been a decent send off for before the March release of the NX.
It definitely would have been, because again, we're at the point where we are literally looking at Star Fox Zero to potentially have been like the last Wii U title. If not the last big Wii U title, it might be the last Wii. Oh no, it's Tokyo Mirage, whatever. So those would be like the last Wii U titles. So you make a good point, and I know we're kind of supposed to talk about the positive stuff right now, but their whole decision.
I think we're done with the positive.
We pretty much are. But so their whole decision to do this has created such a weird, messy window of like nothingness. And again, I'm not like suicidal over all this kind of not great news, but it is still admittedly strange, and it's not great. And like, what is the point? And the only point has to be shutting all resources down that aren't 100% on the NX and on games for the NX, right? It's got to be.
It's like it's almost May, and it's like we don't know solidly what's coming out for Wii U this year. It's like we know we're not getting Zelda for sure.
Mhm.
We know that we're not getting that, but what are we getting?
Do you guys
There's
think
no
it's
solid-
possible? I mean, the E3 stuff, like I said, is to me the most depressing and the most confusing. Like, why not just admit like you're going to reveal the NX at E3? Why hold that off till past E3?
Yeah, that's
But
one of the questions we're going to talk about.
Oh, okay. We'll go ahead.
So
then.
let's just name some of the negatives and then we'll go into detail about a lot of stuff. So since I stole all the positives, I mean,
All two of them.
so I'll just say Zelda delay. Obviously, that's a negative.
Nothing at no E3 plans. That's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah.
No E3 plans.
For NX, basically.
For anything.
Yeah.
I mean, they so
well,
far
the 3,
they've
I'm
said
sure
Zelda.
the 3DS will have a lot with Pokemon. They'll have a lot there, but as far as console stuff, really no E3. What was the other? No real not Nintendo console games past June now. Yeah. I mean, until NX basically, unless Paper Mario comes out.
Just having no games.
I feel like there's something else out there. There's one other game.
Well, there's Lost Reavers that comes out. So.
No, I'm thinking about Pikmin 4, which we never thought was going to be.
I mean, that would have been another good surprise for Wii U because of the Wii,
right.
The motion, the nunchuck, and Wii Remote, perfect for that. With Wii U, having Zelda, Paper Mario, and Pikmin would have been a nice. I mean, that would have been.
I think I was thinking that was going to happen.
And JRPG, that would have been a really nice lineup. Maybe asking a little too much for the last year of a console, but that would have been.
Well, and that's
solid.
probably why that's happening.
Yeah,
right.
So. All right, let me get to the biggest question I have.
These days, Super Nintendo had some great games in its last throws.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo has trouble releasing games, at the end, where like a lot of other systems, even the DS still was going strong when the 3DS came out.
Yeah, we got Perfect Dark and Conquer like the last year of
Jet Force Gemini.
Jet Force Gemini, like. That was a pretty good send-off, but
they haven't been able to figure that out lately.
No.
Yeah, last couple of tries out, they're like, we kind of run out of ideas after about a
we kind of run out of Rare, apparently.
Yeah.
Those are all Rare games. It's
They need another Rare.
Yeah.
So here's the big question, and we won't know the answer. We may never know, probably never know. Was Zelda delayed to make the NX launch, or was the NX delayed because of Zelda?
The world will never know. I'm telling you, we're going to never know that.
Well, let's discuss it, though.
Yeah.
Well, my theory would be that Zelda is delayed for the NX. That's my theory.
See, I'm 100% NX was delayed so that Zelda would be a launch title.
I think so, too.
Okay, well, here's my thinking, is I think Zelda is and or could be ready by November this year or whatever, if they want to release it in 2016. But I think that the NX, for a couple of reasons, not so much for the hardware, but probably for the fiscal reasons of what year it is and other games being ready, I think that the NX has to launch in 2017 or in March 2017. So if they've decided that they want to use Zelda to bolster the launch and have a great title like a brand new Zelda to launch the NX, which we've seen has worked before and I believe will work again for the NX, what happens is if they risk releasing that same game several months earlier on their soon-to-be last-generation platform, they're hurting the impact that game is going to have for the NX. So I think they need to make sure that that Zelda is launching that the first time people can play Zelda, sure it can be for the Wii U, but wouldn't you rather have it for your shiny brand new Nintendo NX you just bought? Of course we'd all want that.
Yeah,
so
but
if the
NX could be ready, why not just do the dual release in November if the game could be ready and the NX could be ready?
I agree.
They did that with the Wii.
It's why both ideas make sense. I mean, I could see either one being true. Don't get me wrong, but for me, it just feels more like it's the NX has to be ready in March. Maybe it's for like the games, like I said. Maybe they don't want to have Zelda NX the only game that's available at launch. Maybe they want like a handful of games, and they need more time to do that. And so, otherwise, I think you guys might be right.
I'm with Juice. I'm 100% too, even though we'll never know for sure. And this is why. We had this thing called the Game Awards. What was that, a year ago?
Mm-hmm.
A year ago in December? Yeah. And there was a Miyamoto and a Aonuma, and they looked super confident about Zelda coming out.
2015.
Coming out, yeah, it's 2015. And they looked very confident then. for them to come out. Like, Nintendo delays games. That's nothing new. But they don't usually announce it the way they did at the Game Awards and then delay it for like a year and a half after that. Something happened, and that something is the NX development of Zelda U. And that is the reason we got the delay to begin with. There's no doubt in my mind.
So does that mean that you guys... That's a good point, but let me ask you this. Does that mean that you think it's not Zelda as a game, but specifically the porting of the game to the NX that's taking longer?
I think it was a resource thing. I don't know if I don't want to say it was a port thing, because I think they might have been building them at the same time.
Yeah, they did say that. They did say they've been developing side by side. Yeah.
Okay.
But we don't know when
there you
started.
go. So I think they were building them side by side, but I think the fact that it was the resources were a little bit more that they could deal with that got, was the reason they delayed it. So I think at the end of the day, it's the NX's fault, quote unquote fault, that we're not getting Zelda on Wii U.
See, part of what that tells me is still kind of similar to my theory, where it's very likely that the Wii U version could be ready by this year. I'm willing to bet that the Wii U version
I think it definitely could have been ready.
Yeah,
it could have been. I don't think it could be now. I think now that they're developing 2, I don't think there's a chance. But
yeah, I don't know. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
But I think there's bigger implications because of this. Like, if they would go so far as to push, quote unquote, push back Zelda for NX, what does NX have? Like, that makes me a little worried about what do they actually have, because I know they're counting on Zelda, obviously, to be a big game for NX at this point. Like, because I was hoping, or I was expecting a Mario, at launch at NX, and I'm not sure that's going to happen if they're that hell bent on getting Zelda, which doesn't sell as well as Mario, by the way.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know that they would necessarily be doing this all to get a Zelda on the NX because they're worried the NX wouldn't have anything else. I think that they just see that.
Well, I don't think anything else. I just think it doesn't have what all they want it to have.
Like a Mario. You're saying if they
don't have like a Mario, exactly.
Yeah,
like
and
Mario
that's a good point. I think there's probably not going to be a Mario at launch.
I just don't see them launching Mario, a full-fledged 3D Mario alongside of Zelda. That's not going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, and they got to have something for the holiday, that following holiday. So.
Well, and I think that they realize
Mario probably coming out in the summer-ish or maybe that fall.
Holiday. I think that should be their first holiday with the NX, 7 months after it's launched. Boom! Here's your Galaxy 3 or whatever.
Right.
And people get really excited about that.
So, Kimishima was interviewed after the meeting, and his quote was for the reasoning for the March release of the NX, March 2017. And this is what he said. You can't always believe at everything executives say, but he said the NX was released so they could have games readily available at launch. So, I think the hardware's probably set. The other issue would be manufacturing.
He said it was delayed, or not even. It's not delayed.
So he just said the release date was.
I know.
Exactly.
So they could have games readily available at the launch.
I totally believe that. It sounds right to me.
Okay, so we're talking about basically a 5-month difference
between November and March.
November, and then between November and March. Is that really gonna open the floodgates for NX games? 5 months.
It could be enough for imagine if there was 2 games that there are 2 extra games they're trying to release, and there was going to be 3 or 4 total NX games at launch. That's not a bad launch quantity of games, but I think I would believe a company saying, "Oh man, we can't get it ready by November, but if we had 3 or 4 extra months, the game will be done." It could be enough for games to be just the last little stage of them to be completed to launch, maybe. Is kind of what I'm thinking.
Look at it this way. Let's say they gave development kits, not the software ones, but the full development kits. Let's say it was last month. So instead of, all right, you have till basically, probably late October to have your game done, to now late February. That's probably a lot more appealing to third parties and anyone.
And if it's as easy to port as we think it's going to be, that definitely is big.
If it's like a third party, like a multi-platform game that someone's developing.
Yeah,
that's a good point too.
I'm sure there's a lot of factors, you know, there was probably a lot of pluses to them releasing it in March versus November 2016. There had to been, obviously it outweighed whatever they had looking for releasing it in November. Otherwise, it would be coming out in November.
Yeah, because you have to think Nintendo knows they have no other games. Like, I'm sure it was a very hard decision to make.
And I also wanted to point out, for a lot of people that's acting like Nintendo just made a dumb decision, like, there's a lot at stake, and their shareholders are not going to be happy that basically 2016's sales forecast is like, it's nothing. Like, it's
done. Yeah.
That's not what shareholders want to hear. I work for a company that is run by shareholders, and we missed our goal one quarter by 0.1%, and they fired
people were jumping out of windows.
Jumping or being thrown.
Just in the Americas, they got rid of 22 like high valued employees. Like, we needed them, and they got rid of them because they had
just for the bottom line.
Yep, they had to make up for the loss. So
that gives me, that's the big theory that I kind of have for maybe sort of why this happened too, or part of the reason why it happened is, to my knowledge, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but to my knowledge, Nintendo's fiscal year ends in March and then begins again in April.
Yeah.
So I wonder if what they're trying to do, if you make it March 29th, March 30th, that this thing releases the last few days of your fiscal year.
That's very strategic, for sure.
You got it, right? Especially for investors. Hey,
I thought that right away when I heard March.
This is the time to invest and buy shares in our company. Our next year, April 2017 to March 2018, is going to be ridiculous because our system launches right then. That's when all the Zelda NX sales are going to come in. That's when we're going to, before the end of the year, we're going to have our Mario. We're going to have Animal Crossing.
Splatoon 2.
Splatoon 2. Yeah, totally.
And they'll get a little bit of it for 2016. They'll get a little bit if they can get it out a couple weeks before the end of that. Then it'll go on the 2016 books.
Yep, you got it.
But
I'm sure that's part of it.
That's why it's March. I mean,
it's bad. It's bad for the short term, but it's the right move for the long term. I totally get it business-wise.
Yeah.
But let's just be real here. If all the games were going to be ready, and the system was going to have, they were going to have enough manufactured for a global release, it'd be out in November. I mean, there's just no reason not to.
I have to agree with that. Yeah, I think you're totally right.
Because that would look even better. Hey, look what our 2016 is going to look like, and then we're going to carry that momentum. Our 2017 is going to be better, you know.
Well, and someone brought up, and maybe it was you, Terminator, but for all we know, they might even need the extra actual manufacturing time of the boxes, of the machines. That could be possible too.
They're going global. Like, a lot of people thought they'd do what PlayStation did very successfully, launch in North America, Europe, and then launch in Japan because the console market is different. But they've also just reiterated, Kimishima, that this is a new, I forget the exact quote, but basically it's just kind of a new take on gaming, probably for them. I don't think it's going to be for so it's like a completely new I don't know.
I know what you're. They've used a phrase to describe the newness of it, and I know. Yeah, I can't remember how they've said it.
So, you know, who knows what this? Maybe this will be something huge in Japan. I don't know, but the fact that it's global and they're making a point to launch globally.
Right at the end of that fiscal year.
Yeah, they're going to have a lot of consoles manufactured, and I'm also wondering if that kind of leans towards the idea that maybe it won't be region locked, because
yeah, people hadn't thought that, right?
They kind of mentioned they were going to get away from that. It was, you know, with the Wii U, it was too late, but because otherwise you could launch it in November.
That would be a mess.
But if it's region locked, then you're going to get screwed because Japan's people all over the world are going to want to buy it, and you're not going to have enough inventory. So it might as well just wait and do it global. That's just another little thing that they probably had to consider.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to point out that this isn't just them being evil and say screw you guys, you know. This was probably I would say a very tough decision, and I'm guessing not everybody agreed with it. But you got to hire Kimishima to make the decisions, and I'm sure he probably lost some sleep because delaying Zelda and the launch of, I mean, not delaying the launch, but basically giving up 2016 for any real profit.
And probably giving up completely on the Wii U, like. to the last possible degree, I think that they've officially said goodbye to that system. You know?
And there's still like a year between this one and the next system. I'm one of the guys that like, because people were upset way before we were talking about Zelda coming out on NX, and then people were upset. It's like, oh man, what about the Wii U owners? And I'm like, well, there's only 13 million of us, you know. In the broad scheme, you know, they would like to hit 50 to 100 million, you know, and we don't factor in that big in the broad scheme of things. But that was under the contingency of that they weren't just gonna like leave you completely high and dry.
Yeah, we thought we would still get Zelda, maybe Pikmin.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that
now
would have been
it's like high and dry-ish feeling over here. It's just like, wow, I didn't think they'd do that.
All right, so
And like right before E3, it's so weird, this whole situation.
Yeah,
so
the E3. I hope we talk about the E3 stuff too.
well, yeah, I want to break up the Zelda stuff. I got more Zelda-related things, but we'll talk about the E3, which is involving Zelda, basically. Like, one of the positives is E3's focus is going to be on Zelda, and we're going to get a full blowout. It's going to be playable, and I'm guessing we're going to see it a ton, and it's going to be awesome. And but the fact they said that's going to be the only playable Wii U game, and that there won't be any NX, so there's not going to be any playable NX games. So basically, it's going to be Zelda and whatever 3DS has. That's E3.
And what my hope is, even though these games wouldn't be playable, they may still have some kind of a presentation. They may still reveal like a couple very small, probably not awesome-looking Wii U games, but some stuff that might be like semi-interesting, you know,
maybe.
like some like to the I'm trying to think of a comparison, like Captain Toad, Kirby Rainbow Curse kinds of games, like
like Mario Strikers.
Mario
they just said playable, so you know.
Yeah, there could be
some stuff announced.
Yeah,
but
there
not
could be
just
trailers. Yeah, exactly. That's my hope.
Yeah,
that's my hope.
But I wouldn't expect more than 2 Wii U
Yeah, it won't be
games.
that many more if there's anything. But
I mean, it's entirely possible they don't have even that.
So
it's very possible. This is how weird this whole situation is. So, you know what's even weirder? Like, what if you're one of those guys that Nintendo gave like a pass to come to E3?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, you're totally right.
Like, how bad are you feeling right now?
Oh my God, the one E3 you go to is where they got nothing. Oh my God, dude, you're so right.
That's what OJ pointed out, because
he did.
He sounded a little salty about he didn't get one, but some other YouTubers did. You know, they did the partnership, and Obi-Wan got one.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I tried. I've actually been talking to some Nintendo peeps last.
Well, you make
weeks.
a video? I haven't really looked.
I'm happy that, because I'm not an Obi-Wan fan, so I'm happy.
Oh no, that's messed up, man. That's cool.
But I'm just joking. That does suck. It's like, why invite people?
Yeah, not even like. They're expecting a blowout. They're expecting NX and all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Zelda is awesome, but that's it. You know, like, wow.
Yeah, that's really weird. So let's talk about no NX shown at E3, but they said they're going to show or give us details. Kimishima said he wanted to talk specs, he wanted to talk features and how the system works, because it is different or whatever for them. And he wants to talk about that soon, and they will talk about it sometime this year. Why, if you're going to talk about it, like, let's say a month or two after E3, then why not just talk about it at E3? It's not going to, it's like, well, you're going to, ruin Zelda's presentation. And it's like, well, you're going to do that anyway in a month or two. No one's going to care about the E3. But you also got to figure Nintendo hasn't been so keen on E3 as much the last few years. But
and more companies are getting to be the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not just Nintendo. Well, a lot of third-party companies are like...
Yeah, but why not show NX games or something? I mean, why not? What I don't understand why.
That's the million-dollar question, man.
Especially if you basically announced it in an investor meeting, the most boring way you could have announced when it's going to come. You've already done that. Why not just show some games? Like, you already
show us Zelda. I mean, we know Zelda's coming.
Right, we know Zelda's coming, but show us something else.
I mean...
Yeah, there must be something about E3 that they're just afraid of, and... I mean, yes, they said the window is March 2017 for the NX, but they didn't do what they did with the Wii, where they actually said the name of it, and they had that trailer that showed the new controller back in the day. They didn't actually, talk about it, other than to say, this is when it'll come out, and...
You're going to have a E3 blowout of a game that's not going to come for another 10 months. Like,
I don't get it, man. I don't
Come
get
on.
It. And like you said, Terminator, like I am so pumped to get all the Zelda info. Like it's gonna be just the Zelda E3. That's what it is. It's like E3 is just Zelda. And we're gonna get the title, I think. You're totally right. We're gonna see gameplay. People are gonna get to play the Wii U version. And we're gonna learn how awesome this game is truly gonna be. That's gonna be really, really great. But to avoid everything else about E3, either they're afraid of something or they're still just not going to be ready in 2 months to show it off, or it could just
I
be
think Space World is coming back. I think
maybe something like that. Yes,
they want to have their own show again because it's kind of like with the Nintendo Directs, right? Nintendo Directs have worked really well for them. They've been able to control the narrative. There hasn't all this crazy stuff, coming out of those. And I think they're like, well, why don't we just get back to doing our own show because we can control the narrative again.
Well, and with Sony doing it now, Electronic Arts is doing it, Activision is doing it. All of these companies are. Sony isn't skipping E3 now, but the other guys are. Nintendo has been slowly moving towards that, and they were the first to do it. So maybe the baby steps of like the E3 Directs kind of thing is starting to the ripple effect is being felt in the industry, and E3 is holding less relevance, and they save money.
It's going to become like Sundance, And sadly, and
we don't know.
The Marvel's doing their own show now, soon, right?
Disney is, yeah.
Disney's doing their own thing, so everybody's kind of doing that.
Yeah, they're skipping Comic-Con altogether.
Right, they're skipping Comic-Con. So
well, we don't know how expensive it is too for them. Just whatever they got to do at E3. I mean, how much?
That's the thing, right? That was the big thing, is that it is very expensive, and they wanted to get away from those expenses. So that's when it started happening.
As someone who's been to E3 many years ago, and when you actually see what these booths are that are just set up in these, not to mention what it probably costs to rent one of the convention centers to then put on your press conference, guaranteed it's in the millions of dollars.
Yeah,
millions. Like there's smoke and lasers and lights, and there's people dancing, and there's employees, and there's screens upon screens. I mean, it's millions of dollars they're probably putting into it and saving by, probably a couple $100,000, write a script, put some trailers together, there's your Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, and you think it cost benefit. Like, what is that really benefiting? What is E3 really benefiting them in the long run? Like, I think
it hasn't been.
Like, we're putting all this money into it, and we're not really getting much out of it, other than stuff that we can get just by putting out a little video. We can get all these media outlets to talk about whatever we want them to talk about, but just by throwing this little video out. You know? Like, why
then you got
all this money?
If you're going to show NX games, then you got to have demos available.
Right.
They got
that takes resources away from.
They have to.
In the game.
A good example is, if you remember, one of their best recent E3s was, I want to say 2010, which was when they showed the 3DS for the first time. They had Skyward Sword they revealed, Donkey Kong, GoldenEye, like Kirby, so many great games. And they had the 3DS. And that was the one where at the very end, as the conference was ending, all these girls with the 3DSs attached to them went out of the audience for people to start playing with them. I mean, how much do you think it cost?
That must have been expensive.
That was hundreds of 3DSs that were right there just to have people to play attached to a human being. Like, they're paying those girls, too. Like, that's so much they put together.
I mean, they might do the Nintendo World Championship again, which was cool. I don't know. They won't have the excitement of like a new of Mario Maker, but
and I think people are going to be bitter about Nintendo.
Just killed all their excitement. They killed. Yeah, people are going to be bitter. Like, they're not here. There's no NX.
We don't know their plans, so we can't say 100%. But
true.
The Treehouse is going to show a lot of 3DS games. If they're going to do the Treehouse, that's all they're going to have to show.
More 3DS.
So, but yeah, I mean, if they're not going to make a lot of money this year, maybe they're just like, we're going to have to save everything we can, so E3 is going to be minimal. I mean, who knows? We don't know, and it sucks to look at it from their business perspective as a gamer, as a fan.
Yeah, it's less fun to do so.
But for me personally, I was kind of relieved a little bit because I couldn't get that week off of work. Old guy I work with, he's going to retire, but yeah, he needs his vacation weeks, and so he took that whole week. And I was going to be like, if they reveal the NX and all these games, I'm not going to be able to get any damn work done throughout the day.
For E3,
so I was like really, what's the word I'm looking? I was dreading E3 this year. I was so bummed out that I couldn't get the week off that I was.
Yeah, I've already taken the week off. I got it set to go.
And because I didn't take the week off, I'm not mad, because I would be if I had taken the week off. or if I had planned on going, because a lot of people thought NX. So, I mean, that's just a little personal reason why it takes a little bit of the sting off there, but it's still perplexing because you're going to show the NX a month from now. Why not at least just show the games and talk about the system? You don't have to have demos and stuff.
Well, that's the question. Like, if they're not going to do it at E3, which they have said, you were just saying this, they said like in a couple of weeks they're probably going to fully detail everything they're actually doing at E3.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're not going to show the NX, when do you guys think they will officially talk about it?
Well, you can't wait too long.
I think it'll be August-ish, maybe.
Yeah.
I'd
maybe
say
September at the latest.
I would think July, end of July would be smart. But
Well, so really soon after E3.
yeah, because how much time you want to give people to get excited about?
Man, Nintendo don't care about that stuff, man. Like, haven't you figured that out by now?
Well,
Nintendo does not care about that stuff going on. In the little chat rooms and the Google Hangouts, they don't care about the stuff. Look, I feel like for Nintendo of America, I feel like they don't even know. Like,
possible.
I'm gonna say this because I said this in my video. I think that Nintendo of America is online tweeting at 1:30, 2 a.m. when this stuff was coming out. Yeah, the NX is coming in March. Like, I don't think they knew until that meeting. Like, I think they're out of the loop. Like, people, want Reggie to be fired and all this stuff. I'm like, man, poor Reggie. I don't think he knows. He's not in the loop. He's the one. He went out there and said that we want to have more stuff until next year about NX. He said that last year, and I think he was completely. I think that's what he thought was going to happen.
Or that's based off of all the knowledge he had at that time.
Yeah. Yeah. So they haven't been in the loop since like the Howard Lincoln days. I think,
which makes no sense because still America's their biggest market.
Right.
I think that
that's why it doesn't make any sense.
I think Reggie does great. I don't know. Maybe I'm alone. I still think Reggie's awesome.
No, what I'm saying is, and people want him fired, but it's not his fault. I don't feel like he's in the loop. He doesn't really know this stuff until.
Yeah, it's not like Reggie makes business decisions just because he runs Nintendo of America. Nintendo of America is run by Nintendo of Japan.
He's the COO. Like Iwata was the CEO of Nintendo of America, even. So. Yeah.
But we're in America, and he's the face that we see and hear from. So that means he's the boss, and that's all people think about.
Well, let's look at. I just want to get it back to the topic. There was, or what I brought up was not having much time in between the reveal and the system launching. Nintendo's notorious for doing a reveal a good year and a half to 2 years before the system launches.
Very true.
And they're pretty stubborn, and they like to stick to their habits like that. But so this would be just a major change from that. And
it kind of excites me a little bit.
Me too.
If they are hiding it this much, this thing might be like the second coming. It's like they know something we don't know, and they're just really holding on to it.
Well, it could be that. I just wonder if it's also them trying a different tactic, and maybe a different tactic that's a little bit more reminiscent of what some of the competition's done. Sony and Microsoft showed their systems off in like February and March, and then a couple months later in November, those systems came out. And maybe they're trying to kind of borrow a little bit from them, because we know, like, yes, Nintendo innovates on tons of things, but every once in a while they wait a long time before adopting something else and then doing it really well, like DLC and online gaming and stuff like that. So maybe, yes, I think you are right, it's probably going to be really awesome, and they know it's worth keeping the secret, but I'm hoping that there's also a business decision wrapped up in it, and they're like, the last couple of times we revealed it 2 years ahead of time, and it didn't go so well this time. Maybe we need to just keep the excitement up for just 6 or 7 months, as opposed to trying to keeping it up for a year and a half.
Well, because there's all this buzz about, especially on the PlayStation side, that the PS4 0.5 or 4K, whatever you want to call it, is coming. Yeah. Like, so those things are still kind of in the works. Maybe they just want to hold off until those things reveal themselves, if they, whatever they are, and then be like, all right, this is what we got. We don't want the competition jumping on it.
Well, it's also
crazy over here.
It's crazy over here.
The NX could get lost in all the other E3 stuff. So,
True.
It does seem like an oxymoron to say, well, you don't just release it afterwards and then you got to compete with that. But then you're also like, well, that's the biggest stage that gets the most press. But yeah, all the games get all that press.
Right.
And maybe it isn't the worst idea in the world to do it. I wouldn't September, man. You're talking 6 months before the launch. I think that's cutting it close. But
I think it's possible. I see it being possible.
I do too. Like,
But
if
just
people
think
get
of
so
how-
bent out of shape about like the holiday season, like, oh, it's got to come out in the holiday, and that's only because that's how people have always done it. There's no rule to you have to launch a video game system.
Yeah,
because remember,
exactly.
I want to take it to movies. Blockbusters, happened because of Jaws. It wasn't like a rule that a summer popcorn movie had to be, in the summer. It was only because Jaws was so big and blew everything out of the water. It was like, oh man, we got to do this summer movie
Like, this
thing.
is the way to do it.
Right. So everybody started doing that.
Well,
but then you have
Titanic
Star Wars
changed.
come out in December, and it's just, Avatar before that,
Titanic
smashing everything, and they just changed. So. And then you have Star Wars jumping in December. Like,
well,
we need
and
to do that
even
thing.
nowadays, they've been talking about this. Like, look at Deadpool coming out in February.
I was going to get to that.
Superman
Yeah,
in
Deadpool
March.
February. Like, what is that?
Yeah,
but they
like
did really well.
They're
It's just
breaking
because,
out of that mold. Yeah.
Yeah, because people get safe. It's like, oh, this is the safe thing to do. Let's launch it. Because traditionally, this is what things will make. But you got to break that mold sometimes. I think it's a smart thing to get out of that season for something new. And especially for Nintendo to get out of that season, because they'll be all mired in everybody else's stuff, what they're dropping, new games and all that stuff.
They do really well in the holiday season, even with the Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
But I was talking more about the announcement not getting lost in the shuffle. You kind of went into that
E3
release date.
I mean,
yeah, I think it's smart to, like, everyone gets excited for E3, but especially like Sony and Microsoft, once their conferences are done, there's really done. Like, it's over. It's like, you're done.
Well,
and maybe
and
if
this
Nintendo can do that within a month or two, and it would they'd have the only spotlight. I mean, just look at today. Look at the feed on Twitter and stuff. It trended like a motherfucker. Like, so.
Well,
I mean,
I think so. Do you think that having that spotlight would be lessened if it was more like several months after E3 as opposed to 1 month after E3?
If you're talking September, I mean, I'm thinking at that point, you haven't had any Nintendo anything for 3 months, so.
Yeah. That's the danger, because there's nothing else other than Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Well, and that's why I mean, honestly, August is my sweet spot. That's kind of where, if I was going to put money on a month, I feel like August makes the most sense.
So they could do it.
I think that's a good idea.
They could do it 2 weeks after E3. I mean, we don't.
They totally could.
Sure.
But so the trade-off is you miss out on everyone's focused. All these people are going to Los Angeles. They're going to E3. But you also have to deal with all the competition for, getting all the news. And Nintendo never even gets credit for Game of Show. Like, they always get ignored for that, which I doubt was part of their decision. But, given the NX its own thing,
I think that is part of their decision. I think they, like I said, they want to control the narrative. That's why we started getting Nintendo Directs in the first place, because they wanted to control the narrative. They want people to focus on what they're doing.
And it's funny because as much as we talk about like all the negatives and the unfortunate side of this, the more we also talk about that stuff, I mean, it really feels like it could be a very smart thing. Maybe it really ends up working in their favor. And I mean, no one thought that the direct presentation for E3 was ever going to work.
Yeah.
And it's done pretty well.
They did pretty well.
Last year's problem wasn't the presentation; it was just that they didn't show a lot of good games.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But the idea was still sound, and I think it still carried through. Like if the games were better, but it was the same presentation around those games, it would have been just as awesome. So if they can do the same kind of thing for the NX, which I still believe when they show it, it might even still be a press conference. When they do that, I think that it could really be the smartest thing. It's just, it sucks for the here and now when we're just several hours after the announcement.
I'm thinking, because remember way back when they had the Nintendo TV thing? That little conference, and they had all the media guys come out for that. I think they're going to do something like that, where they have all the media outlets come out, and they'll present it like on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's when we got the release date and the price for the Wii U. We already knew it was a Wii U, but we didn't know anything else.
That's right.
So let me throw this at you before we go on to the last thing. Would you like to see like a sizzle reel footage of games for NX, like at the end of E3, and say to get excited for the actual reveal? Would you rather just see titles of games or nothing, but maybe a mention, look forward to NX in the coming months?
I would want to see. I could do with most like a handful of titles, but I think you got to show something. I mean, it can be very small teaser kind of footage of of whatever, but I think that you got to show a little bit of footage of something, even if it's 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So I would want to see that.
Yeah,
And we need solid info at this point. We're a year away, basically.
Well, I'm talking about
He means at E3.
To get
I'm saying right now we're a
the
year
NX
away.
review.
So at E3 we'd be even closer.
Mhm.
Like we need to start having solid news about games that are going to be coming. I don't know why that would be a secretive thing to continue.
Well, I mean, if they're not ready to show the NX at all, though, at E3, I mean, I see the point of the question, because he's basically saying, would they even be willing to show titles if they haven't even showed the NX? They don't even know what the NX is.
They don't have to show
yet.
title. I just want to hear titles. This is going to be on NX.
That's what I'm asking.
Well, that's
all
what
I need.
Yeah, I think that was the question.
Yeah.
Like,
do you think they should do that at E3? Say, here's, we got these games, NX, look forward to the reveal.
Just show a sizzle reel and have NX at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
As a console it's going to be on.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely all at the point as Nintendo fans where we kind of would take anything. We'd take any breadcrumbs they can throw at us, even at E3. It's like we'll all be watching E3 anyway, so it's like, please, just show us the thing. Put a logo on something.
Yeah, one of these other companies, they can go do their little thing and say NX at the bottom when they show their game.
Wow, that'd be crazy.
Coming to NX. That's all you need. That's all I need. I don't need anything else.
It's so funny how if they showed like the next, well, they will do this. So let's say when they show the next Call of Duty at E3, like on Microsoft stage or something. Just imagine if at the very bottom it shows the platforms. If there was a Nintendo NX logo, and that was it. They didn't even say it out loud. That would make more news, more headlines than just the game itself. It would be more talked about that the NX logo was on that than even the Call of Duty game.
We don't need to see what it looks like, the NX version looks like, or any of that stuff.
No one would even give a shit. It'd be like, oh my god, did you see analyzing the NX logo? IGN Rewind. It'd be crazy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what would you do, Terminator? What do you want?
I would think, just to kind of end E3 to build some excitement, let us know the NX reveal date, like when you're going to do the whatever it's going to be, whatever form. Tell us when it's going to be, and maybe just tease some title like they did at that 1E Direct in 2013, where they said, yep, 3D Mario Kart, you'll be seeing those at E3, and it got people excited. Something like
all that stuff that EA showed obviously didn't come.
Like Battlefield and all that.
Battlefield and Army of Two and all this stuff. And it's like, all right, those obviously wasn't running on Wii U, but we were still told those games were coming. So
and it was exciting.
Enough.
It was very exciting at that time.
Yeah. All right, so here's the question, the big question, because this is their E3. Is Zelda just that revolutionary that they feel confident making that basically their E3? Do you think it's just going to be that mind-blowing, or do you think it's just because they needed to do something and they knew Zelda was popular?
I would say since we're not going to see the NX version, I feel like it doesn't have to do with it being revolutionary. If we knew it was going to somehow be the NX footage and gameplay that we'd see and whatever the controller is, then I would buy into that idea and be like, yeah, like it's probably going to be so badass and so new and fresh and amazing. It's going to look great on the NX. Yeah, just focus on that for Zelda, for E3. But since they're just going to show us the Wii U version, I think it's going to look freaking awesome. But I don't think it's going to look
I think he's just looking from a gameplay standpoint,
talking about gameplay,
visuals, because visually it looks amazing already to me anyway. But.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of like the whole package, because you have to think. I mean, as great as it looks on Wii U, I bet the NX version is going to look a hell of a lot better. It's probably why it's taken so long to do it. So, long story short,
we're speculating though that the NX is, powerful, because all those rumors were pretty much wrong.
Well,
so
it better be now. At this point, it better be.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be pretty powerful.
I think they're really confident in Zelda. I don't think they would just show Zelda if they weren't pretty stoked about it. Yeah. So I think it's.
I would hope that they were really confident, because again, you're not going to be able to play it for 10 more months. And if they're going to put that out there,
making it pretty good.
Right, as their only thing, and they're going to put that out there as their only thing. I think they think it's going to be pretty amazing. I hope so. I hope it's, it reaches, because they've talked about it reaching like Ocarina of Time like earth-shattering,
Yeah.
possibilities.
I mean, I'm sure they're confident, and I think it's going to live up to that confidence. But I think in any other year, if this wasn't happening, I don't think that they would feel that way about a Zelda game. I think this is really just because of all these moving pieces and the NX chaos. That's what I think most of it is.
You think it's
Which
just
I'm not
the
trying to
safe
take.
I don't know. I don't think it's that. I
Yeah.
think they wanted this Zelda to be a big new thing from the beginning, because they've been talking about how they're changing the mechanics and how they're doing this and how they're doing that differently.
And that's why this would be a perfect opportunity. If this was a time where it's like, all this shit's happening, our new console, blah, 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 we're just going to show Zelda at E3 and that's it. If this was happening, this would be the perfect time to showcase the NX version of it. If that's what they were doing, I would way more buy into it. That's just, I'm going to be really attached to that idea, because if you're trying to just pump people up for Zelda, but you're delaying Zelda,
But if you do that, you got to reveal the NX, and I just think they don't want to reveal the NX
and that's
yet.
why it's tricky.
Yeah.
But that's also why this thing feels kind of a little bit
That's why it's
messy
so
and
weird.
rushed. I don't think
Right.
that this is a calculated plan. I think they're doing this because it's kind of one of the last options they have available based on their decision to keep the NX a secret past E3. That's
Right.
my personal theory. I think
That's
they're just
what
out
it
of
is.
options.
It's a handicap because
Yeah.
they can't, or they don't want to show the NX right now. So.
I'm a little worried that the NX, the Wii U version, is still the definitive version based on the gamepad. Like, I'm still thinking
Could
that
be.
We didn't even talk
possibility.
about that. Like,
Could be.
I hope that it means that the NX version will have a gamepad. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, that's the other side of it. But it could just be everything, start menu for the map or start button for the map, and it's going backwards.
Right. It could totally just, yeah.
Yeah, and
I
it
don't
would be
know. I
going
don't see-
backwards, I agree.
I
No
don't know if they
gyro.
could do that. I don't feel like Nintendo would do that. I don't know.
That's really interesting to think about. So here's the other question is, they did the dual release. They decided to release them at the same time, and Red Knight and I were disagreeing about releasing the Wii U version in November if possible, and he said that would be pointless, and I said no less pointless than releasing it at the same time as the NX version. Like, that to me is absolutely pointless to still have the Wii U version, because no one's going to buy it. I mean, a few people will, but
I'm gonna buy it and keep it sealed. And
almost
sell it
yeah.
for $500 in 10 years.
almost everyone else that's excited for Zelda, is
Yeah.
going to be tempted by the NX version, and a lot of people would have bought the Wii U version. Oh, the NX version looks that much better, and they're going to buy it twice. I just think if it was possible, they would have had the Wii U version out in November.
See, and that's
or
where
something.
I kind of brought this up earlier, and I side with Red Knight on this one, because I feel like even if it is possible to release the Wii U version in November, which I still think is somehow maybe possible, the reason I don't think they would or even should at this point
No,
is
I don't
because
think they should.
there's no benefit. And I know you're like, okay, well, if they do it at the same time, no one's going to buy the Wii U version.
Yeah, there's
And
no
that's
benefit
totally
of the
true.
Wii U version if they release them at the same time.
But the
again,
point is to get people to not care about the Wii U version, which sucks to say.
Twilight
here's the-
Princess.
Yeah, Twilight Princess.
That's a case in point right there. When did the GameCube version of Twilight Princess come out?
2 months
Like,
after
2 months
the Wii
after
version.
the Wii version. So
Yeah, and that was just like with this Zelda. It started as a GameCube game,
Exactly,
and
it
then they
started
moved
as a
it to the
GameCube
Wii.
game.
And the problem is, if you release the Zelda on Wii U this November, and then you wait for the NX version to launch at the NX in March,
you
way
kill
less
the NX.
people are going to buy the NX. And if you release them together, people will say, I'm willing to buy a whole new NX just to play the badass NX version of the Zelda I was already going to buy for my old
Yeah,
system.
that's my point. Don't even have the Wii U version.
Well,
then.
but then people get double pissed, because what about the people who just won't
No,
buy
there's a
an
lot of people
NX?
that are like, oh, that's bull crap. I want my
Yeah.
Wii U version.
Yeah,
No,
like
I vote a Wii
to be fair, they've been this is the shittiest
they'll
thing
say
they've
that,
done.
but they're
is-
not going to buy it. They're not going to buy the Wii U version.
No,
They
those
won't.
people would buy. Those people did exist. I remember those people during.
It'll probably
Twilight
sell
Princess.
a couple hundred, maybe 500,000 on Wii U, maybe.
That's a lot of people. I mean, it's a
It's a lot of money,
It's a lot of
That's
PR.
probably worth it. Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
PR. T nailed it, because
Yeah.
you don't want everyone in the world feeling like Nintendo actually
shafted people.
pissed on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you
It
would
still feels that way to me, but
It still
is a
feels that
little
way only because, like I said, my main gripe is that they're dragging Zelda into next year because of the NX, so it still feels a little shafty.
it is shafty. It is.
You know, but I was only. I was gonna say, the the playtime I was gonna have on Zelda was gonna be NX anyway. Like that was always gonna be.
I was always planning on Wii U unless
really?
NX had a gamepad.
Oh.
Well, I
was never thinking NX for Zelda.
So I still subscribe to the belief that the gamepad itself may be backwards compatible.
I think so too.
I still think that's very likely.
I think that's a thing.
If there's no screen on the controller for the NX. But let me ask you this, Terminator. If there is no screen for the NX, but otherwise the NX looks awesome and the controller looks awesome, Zelda releases on both consoles both days, would you still buy the Zelda for Wii U, or would you end up going with the NX version?
Did you say... All right. I glanced over. I was reading a comment. Sorry.
Weren't even listening to me. I was talking. It's like talking to a brick wall.
One thing I wasn't sure. Did you say the NX version will have the gamepad?
No. My theory for the question is if the NX didn't have a gamepad, but otherwise did look awesome, and if it had some kind of weird, cool new controller, but did not have a gamepad or a screen, which version would you?
I'd probably
buy?
Get the Wii U version.
I would probably get the Wii U version too.
Okay. What if they, and again, this is all guesses, but what if they sold us on other features that the NX gives Zelda that the Wii U version doesn't have? That's what I'm hoping to learn.
I can't
Would
imagine.
that change it?
I can't imagine those features, so
Okay.
yeah, I guess if I knew them, I could answer that, but...
Yeah, what else would
it's
it
just,
be?
If I'm losing...
We don't know what the NX does, so who knows?
Right.
Who knows?
Because, I mean, playing Xenoblade Chronicles X is a perfect example of just having that huge open world and having a map I can just quickly look down and see where I'm going. That immensely changed how I felt about open world games. Just that feature alone, and to not have that would be a real bummer for me. I don't care how good the game.
I mean, I agree 100% in that respect, and I love the gamepad. And I've said for so long, I've even told my other friends who aren't Nintendo gamers this, like, for any game where you have a map, the Wii U has spoiled other games, and it makes everything on the PlayStation and Xbox seem last generation because I have to pause to look at a fucking map. And that's crazy because the Wii U with so many games has removed that nuisance.
Yeah.
So
I think about games like I played Darksiders on 360, the first one, and Batman, and I look at them like, man, it's so archaic to like have to go back to pause on the screen.
Oh, it's so lame, dude.
Yeah.
It's so lame.
But the thing we got to remember is that we're kind of a minority here.
Yeah.
We're a big minority, unfortunately.
Yeah, so
yeah, I'm sure
it's going to come down to the majority on this, I think.
Well, how much better could Zelda U look just with higher resolution? Unless it's running at 60 frames and a huge open world, that would be pretty impressive.
I mean, that's it right there. 60 frames.
Yeah, and we all know you're a frame rate whore, as you've admitted, so maybe that would make the difference.
Right.
But I just don't. That art style looks amazing already. How much more amazing could it look?
Well, it could look pretty amazing at 60 frames.
Yeah, and it could be something where, like, maybe the draw distance is like twice as good or something like that. Well,
let's see. Like I said, I'll have to wait and see.
Yeah,
but
we don't know.
I don't care about. Well, the NX version, I can quickly send Ms. a message while I'm playing.
Yeah, that kind of stuff doesn't do anything for us.
No.
If it's voice activated.
Like I can do that on my smartphone in 5 seconds. I can send a message.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all going to be interesting once we know what the NX is. It's going to be a lot easier to answer these questions.
That sucks.
Yeah, that's the other thing. There's going to be more speculation, more rumors now.
These rumor whores are going to be able to keep filling their coffers.
That's why Nintendo did this.
Yep. It's for those guys.
Yeah, but again, there's just so many people just taking this as Nintendo just making a bad decision. Like, I just want to reiterate, like, this, I'm sure
this is not an easy thing to do.
This was not an easy decision, and I 100% think the NX would be out in this year if everything...
If they could have,
Yeah, if they could have, it would have. I mean, there's just no reason.
Yeah, and it's like, do people really want them to release like a not complete system?
Yeah,
like
that's what...
All these people who are so unhappy with the Wii U, you want a half-assed next
I think
system?
a lot of them, like me, are worried because it feels like the end of the Wii again. The Wii going into the Wii U.
The momentum
completely gone, completely dead for like a year, and then you drop.
And it really is that way. I mean,
I
said this in my video. Like, I definitely. I mean, I'm a Wii U fan first, and so that does, and a Nintendo fan, so that part sucks. But that's why I feel fortunate to have all these consoles. Like, I will still be gaming all the way up until when the NX comes out. But a lot of people don't have that. Terminator.
Right. We're only thinking about ourselves. A lot of guys only have the Wii U, or.
And
yeah,
that's and it sucks that Nintendo's and even though I'm not as mad about this as a lot of people are, like I will freely admit that it sucks, and I wish Nintendo wasn't doing this way or wasn't maybe in a position where they had to, where this was the smarter decision than the opposite. I think that really blows.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, they got to understand they're going to lose some money. They're going to be some NX savings going to a PS4 or something.
Yep.
Yeah, that's exactly
PS4K.
a good point because I was hoping either Zelda or the NX or both were going to fill out my winter months gaming. And now I'm honestly going to have to get a PS4. It's just that simple.
Yeah. Well, I was going to get one anyway, but
I wasn't if the NX.
Well, you don't even have. I already have Xbox One, but you don't even have that.
Yeah,
so
I got a PC.
So
you got a PC, so for you, but you know.
I get.
I'm with the T.
If I want to buy a Quantum Break capped, so that it looks more like the Xbox One version, I could.
Like two Titans and shit.
Yeah. So I was never gonna buy a PS4 if the NX launched this year. And I just can't go from now until March without playing any significant games. I just can't do that. So
which one are you going to get? Are you going to get a PS4?
I'm going to get the PS4. Oh no, I'm going to get the $300 version or less.
I'm not even going to get that. I'm probably going to.
I mean, you can get like a bundle with Uncharted 4 or something. You know, that's.
I looked. I couldn't find
an
an Uncharted 4 bundle.
Really?
On Amazon.
That's crazy. I thought they
had the Nathan Drake collection for like $400.
Yeah, you don't want that.
With the 500, it still had a 500 gig hard drive. I'm like, what? What the fuck? But
that's weird. I thought for sure there'd be Uncharted bundles already.
So I got Ratchet and Clank in my Amazon cart right now because that's only a $40 game. It's $37 or whatever.
Oh, nice.
And but I'm just gonna. I'll wait for Uncharted reviews if they're good because I did like the reviews. I did like The Last of Us. I thought it was a good game and it was.
You can wait for somebody else to tell you how to. Somebody else to tell you if they should buy a game.
Listen to reviews. We don't. Why you listen to someone else tell you what game to play?
By reviews, I mean like Rob. Not Robert, because Robert's gonna probably love it. I don't know.
User reviews. That's what I'm.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait and hear what people think, Uncharted fans and all that. If it sounds like it's a really good game, plus there's a few. I said a lot. There's a few older games that are like $20 or less that
I mean, you know me, man.
I can't think of any games on PS4 that I want, though.
I enjoy
other than
PS4.
like Ratchet and Clank.
I think it's a good decision to purchase it, you know. And don't forget, like, what happens too if you get one Terminator is that there are some great third-party games you can play. It's not just about the exclusives. Since you've been playing Wii U, you haven't been getting third-party games.
I don't know how great they are. They're not great enough for me to buy them on my PC, but
right. I was gonna say you're already PC. If you really wanted.
Well, I've said this before. I think there's Destiny could be a game you could enjoy that's not on PC and lots of other games.
I definitely won't get Destiny.
It's an example of one game.
Seem like a Destiny.
That's one of the most boring games to watch. I don't know about to play, but I definitely won't be getting Battlefront. And definitely won't be getting Watch Dogs. But
what about what's that wall running Titanfall?
Titanfall's Xbox.
No.
Oh,
it's gonna be on.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to dabble in the Call of Duty but they don't. Those games don't go very cheap either. They don't go below 40 usually.
Call of Duty.
Like Black Ops.
Pretty soon it'll be cheap. Yeah.
They don't usually drop below 40, even when the new game comes out. So. But then I'm like, do I want to pay for PlayStation Plus? I don't know if I do, so I don't know. And I wouldn't get the Xbox One because I already have basically the PC is going to cover me on a lot of that if I wanted it. And also, I think the system's really ugly, and I don't want it anywhere in my living room.
It's all about that aesthetic for Terminator.
So, but it's not done deal. It's just one of those things. Like I'm going to have to do something because I'm going to have to be playing games from basically now, and once maybe a month from now, I'll be kind of wore out on Star Fox and Shantae and the Half Genie Hero is really the only thing I'm looking forward to. So there's
you'd be happy with it, man. I think you'd be happy with it. There's good stuff and good stuff coming.
I hated my PS3 though. I didn't like the PS3. That was garbage.
Too bad. Hey, you can play No Man's Sky pretty soon.
Yeah, well, that's PC as well. So it's like I think. Ratchet and Clank Uncharted would be compelling enough, and then for cheap, I'm talking like under $20. I might try Infamous. Or
Infamous is very cheap. You could always try Bloodborne. You know me, I'd tell you give that game a shot. You're scared, ain't you? I can tell you're scared.
Nah, Watching you constantly dodge looks like the most tedious gameplay I've ever seen. Like
it looks that way, but it sure as heck doesn't feel that way. I promise.
I don't know.
You know what? If you get a PS4, I will buy and send you a copy.
Watching you dodge and like you dodge right through the big axe or whatever you're playing Dark Souls, and it's like it hit you, but because you're dodging, it doesn't hit. Sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't.
And that's purposeful, though. Like, not to get too derailed, but both the Bloodborne and Dark Souls games, the purpose of rolling is a split second of invincibility, and it's all about rhythm and timing. It's not like an accident of the game.
It's one of those
like, can you use it to your advantage?
It's one of those little gameplay cheats or game cheats that bug me a little bit. It's not major or anything. It's just
it's a design choice, though. It's not like a glitch in the game. It's a design choice. So.
It's a design choice that I don't really. I feel it's a little cheap, but a lot of games do it. It's just it is what it is. The other game, Gravity Rush 2. That's the other game that PS4 exclusive that looks really cool. That I'm interested in.
Gravity Rush 2 looks good.
So that's. And then Horizon, I guess I'm hopeful. I'm not.
When is that coming?
That just got delayed till 2017. Yeah, it did.
I figured it would. So
yeah, I thought it would too, and everyone.
No, it's coming.
You guys, but
they don't delay video games. What are you talking about?
I had no. I never thought that was a 2016 game. Same with Final Fantasy VII, which some people thought for some reason. Or what was the other?
Last Guardian.
Yeah, Last Guardian. There's no way.
Again, it's only been delayed like 5 years.
Yeah.
So maybe I might not get it. I might not get one. We'll see. But the 3DS is not enough to keep me from now until March 2017.
You're gonna be hurting if you don't have something. Whatever you get, you gotta get something.
And the PC, like if it is like happen to be like a cool multiplayer game, then I'm not really gonna be able to play it with hardly anybody. So
time to dig into that backlog.
Yeah.
No,
and I've been
keeping. Red has one, right? So that's enough.
Yeah. I'm thinking like a lot more people like I associate with on Google and stuff that have PS4s. I know. And I don't have a backlog on my Wii U, so I've been buying pretty much every game that I want. So there's really no backlog, so I don't really have anything. And maybe I could finally finish Assassin's Creed 4.
Hooray! The one that everyone actually likes.
I'm 5 hours in, and I haven't touched it since the first week I had it. So, and a Batman Arkham City, I still have about an hour into that. So
you haven't beat Arkham City yet?
I couldn't stand it. It was so like.
Well, you have it on PC?
No, I have it on the Wii U, and it's just the frame rate's so terrible. It's sluggish.
Yeah.
I plus the combat. I played it right after Bayonetta 2.
That's weird.
Well, I was so used to playing 60 frames per second games, and then I played that. Plus, I played Bayonetta 2.
Low.
Yeah, I'm a frame low. Just got done with Bayonetta 2, and that combat is so superior. Like Arkham City felt like it's so terrible.
Oh yeah, well I got it like at launch, so
yeah, same here.
Yet.
All right, so I think that's gonna be it. We got a little off track at the end, but just basically, I mean, I'm not devastated. I'm bummed about Zelda. I wanted to play that. It does suck that I don't have really, because Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE, that's not on my list of games I'm getting. So
yeah, me neither. It used to be, but not anymore.
Come on, man.
I will say though, if somebody's like a fan of turn-based RPGs or JRPGs, and suddenly not gonna get that game because of all this with the delays and the NX and all that, I just gotta say, shame on you. So
yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of a game and you want a game, then you should.
Complaining about the lack of RPGs, and then one comes out, but because of the NX isn't coming out like you wanted, you're not gonna buy.
That's lame.
You've been asking for, pretty pathetic. So
that's lame. Yeah.
I think I might have seen something. Somebody.
Yeah, one other thing that I want to add while we're still wrapping up here is this news. Like, it's so fresh, and so much of it is like really bad, and it makes everyone really like devastated about the future of Nintendo and the NX and Zelda. And like, that's all true, but I have a feeling that I don't even have a feeling. I pretty much know that when we finally see all of this info, and whenever the hell Nintendo finally shows it to us and shows us the NX and talks about games, and we see the controller and people see the graphics and we know what Zelda's actually going to be, I guarantee that everyone, us, all these other people who are mad on the internet, whatever, everyone's going to totally forget about today. That as soon as that happens, no one is going to remember this day where this news came out and everyone was crying and jumping off of buildings because Nintendo is doomed in the gaming race again. And it's going to be like, oh, man, that's great. Yeah, Nintendo did it. That's a great machine. These games look great.
100%.
Zelda looks great. That's what's going to happen.
Remember when people complained about the day one update for the Wii U taking 40 minutes to an hour?
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's so irrelevant at this point, so hopefully today's announcements and stuff will become like that.
Unless it somehow turns out to be disappointing, which I don't think it will be, so I ain't jinxing anything.
They better deliver now.
Yep, I said that in my video. It's like, you know what? I'm happy to give Nintendo this extra time if they need it, but they better fucking deliver. Yeah. They've definitely set the precedence where they have to deliver. They can't mess around here.
Let's quickly just throw out the idea of the launch window of March. Like, that doesn't sound 100% confident.
Oh, you like the use of the word launch window?
Launch window of March 2017. Maybe they just.
Oh, Jesus, Terminator! I'm not ready for another delay. Oh,
I don't think. I think there's a. You got to consider the possibility the NX won't launch in March.
Yeah, you're not wrong. That's why I'm mad at you for bringing it up, because you're right.
It should launch next E3 a la Sega Saturn.
Oh, that worked out so well.
I mean, if they missed March, it wouldn't be like a 6-month delay. I don't think. I think it would be April, May type of deal.
It's tough because I do have to agree. We didn't touch on this enough in the beginning of this, but honestly, like, yes, November would be the most ideal time, but if they're not going to do November, I think March is a great time because everyone who's buying new games for the holidays, they buy it in the holiday. If everyone who's going to spend a couple $100s for a brand new system, they buy their PlayStations and Xboxes, they do that in the holiday. 4 or 5 months later, 4 months later in March, that is the time where it's like everyone's excitement over all their new stuff is already gone and they're ready for something else brand new.
Yeah.
All the money they already
tax
spent.
Money.
You got it. They're getting more money. They've made more money. They got their taxes coming back. Now it's time to buy another thing. Hey, what do you know? Nintendo's brand new shit just came out. Let me go buy one of those.
And also, they skipped the downtrodden January and February months completely.
Yep.
Which killed momentum for the Wii U. I mean, obviously, it didn't affect PS4 and Xbox One like that, but
even though they still didn't have games coming out, though, those systems.
Yeah.
And if that's notoriously a game drought month, or a game drought period of the year, all of a sudden, this is the period where we're going to get not only games, but a whole new system.
Yeah, and Red Knight laid it out pretty well. It's like you release the system in March with its launch games. By the time, you're through those launch games, you're already into E3 excitement months. Maybe they could release a game. Maybe they could release a game in May, but then you got E3, you get all these new games, all this stuff coming out this holiday, within the same 9-month period, you get the launch, you get E3, and then you get your holiday.
And you get the holiday. Yeah, like we said, with like maybe Mario being the big holiday title, which is only 9 months after the system comes out. That's
so. I mean,
great.
In that regard, that's not terrible. Like I keep saying though, I mean, if it could have been ready in November, it would have been out in November. I mean, there's just no question about it.
Well, and that makes me, because you and I guess, and Red Knight too, you guys brought that up. I mean, that makes me realize, do you guys think that next year's E3 could potentially be one of the best they've ever had? Because, I mean, 3 months after the NX comes out, we had those, we get Zelda, we get 3 or 4 other maybe games, and that's all we have. June comes around in E3, all they can talk about is blowing the fucking doors wide open on so much NX stuff for that holiday and beyond. I mean, they could have insane amounts of stuff at that E3.
Yeah, that's, completely possible that this could really set up a great E3, because then you don't have, look at the Wii U launch in 2012, started off strong, and then just had nothing till E3, basically, and then that's when here's what our games are going to be for the holidays, which were really
Donkey
good.
Kong, Mario.
Yeah, and showed Mario Kart 8 and
Mario 3D World.
That was a pretty tough 6-7 months for Nintendo, and if the NX was ready and had all the games ready, I don't think that would happen launching in November. I don't think that would happen again if you had games, but the delay could also be not just for launch games, but to get it closer to the next wave of games.
Launch window games.
So
so there isn't,
it's not. It could be like I said, not just the launch games.
Well, some other people, again, I don't want to drag this out too much longer, but some other people brought up the idea that because of it being in March, that might be, if there is the true handheld and console version, that might be when the handheld version's coming out. Because that's when you would typically release a handheld. And I think that's around the time the 3DS came out. So what do you guys think about that idea?
That's possible, too.
Would you be disappointed?
Are they going to drop the handheld and the consoles? Well, are you saying that the NX is the handheld? That's what
no, I think that again, this was some comments that were left on my video. Some people pointing out like, well, maybe it's only the handheld version that's supposed to come out in March, and then they're waiting still.
That better be a very powerful handheld that we're waiting for.
If it's Zelda,
yeah. You know.
Good point. Or it could be the boat. I mean, it could be the boat.
Yeah, it could be. The fusion thing's real. So, we'll have to see, but. I don't know. There's just so many factors we don't know, and so many things that went into their decision that we may never know, and maybe sounds like some damage controlling or whatever going on here, but just trying to look at it like adults and rationalize and not just go with emotions and rant and do the obvious thing. Thought we'd take a different approach and try to just
actually have a perspective on it instead of just
look at it from. Don't just look at it from our pissed off. We're gamers. I want to play games. Yeah, it does suck. You're not going to have Nintendo games to play this holiday, but
for sure, yeah.
And I don't
that's
like
the biggest thing. That's that.
Yeah, I don't like looking at it as look at it from Nintendo CEO perspective because I don't care. I'm not. I want to play
exactly.
Games, But I also got to look and try to understand. Just for my own sake, try to understand where they might be coming from, what might have led.
Yeah, and the benefit to trying to still understand that business side and where they're coming from is it helps you see potential positives. And if you understand it, it can help you feel less angry and maybe see the light at the end of the tunnel, because we have a really long, dark, shitty tunnel ahead of us. And if that light on the other end is really, really bright, then maybe that traveling through that dark tunnel is going to be totally worth it. And that's what we're trying to sort of feel out as we talk about it, I think. Because we're all obviously
full, man. I want that glass to be half full, not empty.
Yeah, man.
Well, the other thing, too, is I know myself was one of those telling people in November of 2015, calm down, NX. They said 2016, you're going to get NX information. Don't expect it in this direct. And then I'm like, expect it in 2016. Expect it at E3. That just makes sense. And then, so this does kind of make...
Well, they told us to.
Yeah.
They told us to expect it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it does kind of make, like, for me, been saying that all this time. Now people are like, yeah, now what are you going to say? Just wait till...
Wait to go terminate your line.
Wait till E3, man.
Just wait till the...
E3 doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, so it does. It just sucks. It would have been nice to know that we were going to find out about the NX at E3 and it was going to be done with all the rumors and stuff, but...
Yeah, the rumors will continue. Thanks for that, Nintendo.
Yeah.
So excited.
I got to ask about all the verified Reddit users.
Dude.
They got it so right. Oh, wait. No, they didn't.
Yeah. They're verified, so that's basically true. It's just a rumor, but it's basically true because they're verified and they have sources, and it's like, no, please own up to that. You know who you are. If you're watching this, just own up to that. Don't quit. Quit trying to backtrack and act like you've never said the NX was coming out in 2016. Come on, man.
And that's the whole thing. That also part of what I pointed out in my video. Like the whole being disappointed about the NX next year is like really shouldn't make any sense or be allowed for anyone, because that was part of everyone creating their own thing in their own head.
Yeah.
Like nothing Nintendo ever said.
That's not my disappointment at all. The quote unquote
sure. We're not
delay. It's not a delay because they never gave us a date.
Yeah, you got it.
That was all our own thing.
But for people who are mad about it, I mean, just remember, like, that was... People put the idea in their own heads that the NX was coming out this year.
The delay, it's a delay for the people that let their expectations get the better of them, so there you go.
Yeah, that's pretty true, yeah.
I kind of thought maybe at this point it was looking like 2016, but I was never going to be mad if it wasn't. Just
that was
under the assumption Zelda... Like, I had this theory Zelda would come out maybe at E3 they'd show it off, say it's coming out August, September, and NX in 2017 made sense, gave Zelda U time to breathe. That's before I knew there was a dual release.
Sure. Yeah.
And that would have made sense, good send off, and it wouldn't have sold as well, doing it that way, like Skyward Sword didn't sell nearly as well as it should have, and then maybe come out with the NX version, and some people would have bitched, including me, about bringing definitive editions and all that to the NX, but to me that would have been ideal if I could have wrote the script for how this happened. That's kind of how I would have done it. Had Paper Mario, maybe a Pikmin 4, depending on if the NX is going to have Wii Motion or Wii Remote-ish controls or something, pointer controls.
See, it does start to get exciting if you think about the NX launching in March now, and within the first couple of weeks or month, if we have Zelda, if Pikmin 4 is coming out, and if Paper Mario, if those games are coming out all of a sudden in the first, if not launch day, if in the launch couple of months, those are great games to have at the beginning of your new Nintendo console.
Yeah. Is that part of the stuff that's going to be that was speculated to go from Wii U to NX?
Yeah, pretty much everything that wasn't Star Fox and Zelda to me sounded like everyone was like, well, that's probably going to be on the NX.
Yeah.
Including Pikmin,
Yeah, Pikmin from day one, even though it was the earliest thing we learned about, I always thought it was an NX.
I think they would have said Wii U if it was Wii U. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
I don't think they would have just left that open. So it'll be interesting. It's going to be hopefully their E3 plans that they reveal soon will shed some light. I'm just glad I didn't take the whole week off because it doesn't sound like it's going to be one of those exciting E3s where I'm going to want to be tuned in like I was the last 2 years, even though last year wasn't as good. But
at this point, it's weird for me to say this, but I'm hedging all my bets on EA's thing because that's where I hope to God they show us more Star Wars games. And they have to do that. If they don't show us more Star Wars games, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be
good start. You don't want a Star Wars game with potential.
Updates.
Yeah, you want a great Star Wars game, not one with just unrealized potential.
No, yes, exactly. I want, and I like Battlefront a lot, but it's not the Star Wars game we should have had, and we should have a lot more. We need like 1313, we need good games that tell a story, that use characters we know, also introduce new characters, take us to places we know, give us a world to get wrapped up in. Like, just random maps that are awesome, but that just have multiplayer stuff, like that doesn't get the job done for 10 flipping years of this license. So they need to have at least 2 or 3 Star Wars games. They have to. That's what I'm getting out of E3 this year.
I'm sorry that you're putting all your hopes into E3. That's not
into EA.
Haven't you learned,
Padawan,
to not do that?
But EA of all companies.
Well, it's actually, let me rephrase it, because it's not really EA. It's Lucasfilm and it's Star Wars. That's where my hope is. And EA just happens to be the company. Mass Effect. Pumped for Mass Effect. I love BioWare. So I mean, EA makes some great games, but they're just so hard to predict. I just want them to do good things with Star Wars while they have it. So that's what they have to do.
All right. So I think we've said all we're going to say. And
can I give a final thought?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that right now it feels like Nintendo's kind of in a transition stage. It's like they're like the old football champion. They've been champs for a while, and then now they're like everybody retired and moved on. You got a rookie quarterback, and like it's just you're kind of in a rebuilding stage right now.
That's exactly what I said in my video.
Oh, did you?
I made the exact comparison.
See, we're simpatico, man. So that's what I feel like. They're in a transitional stage right now, and it sucks. Like, we're the Browns right now, but I think the future looks pretty freaking bright. And we're going to be kind of blown away by what we get from the returning champ. So
Peyton Manning's coming out of retirement. Confirmed. Yes.
Yeah, we'll.
Thanks, T. I needed that.
We'll get the other guys from the Juices Loose on Monday. We'll discuss some more of this, and I think we should all play Star Fox Guard and give our impressions of that game.
Yes.
So, but after that, that's the other thing. The other side of this, it's going to be difficult to do podcasts based on Nintendo.
Uh-oh. The Juices Loose is shutting down.
When you don't have, we'll have a lot to talk about after E3, but that'll be 1 or 2 podcasts, and then.
It's funny that you brought that up because it's like I feel bad for the podcast obviously going forward, but like what about Nintendo-only websites, like Enthusiast and what's the other one? Nintendo Life. What are those guys going to be doing?
Well, they got some 3DS, but that's why I think the NX reveal needs to come out within under 2 months after E3.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is for the next couple of weeks, as we build up to E3, we could get really lucky and hear rumblings, and maybe like they said at some point, we will tell you our E3 plans, which means before E3, they'll have another press release about.
I think they're going to do that real soon. They usually have that with first week of May. We already know what their E3 plans are.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Kimishima's interview you were referencing, I think that was probably planned to counteract the bad news, and so for the same reason, I think you're right. They'll talk about E3 within another week or so.
And would the Nintendo World Championship get you excited, knowing they're not going to be able to show us really anything new?
No, I mean, I'd watch it, but I really could care less. Unless it's like, hey, brand new game.
It'd be a nice gauze, on the wound. It would be cool.
It's gauze without tape, is what it is.
The best part of last year's was seeing Mario Maker and how that was going to work with creating levels and someone going in blind.
Yeah.
That was really the highlight. Splatoon was cool except for the kid announcing, but I don't think that would do the trick this year, even though I loved it last year. And
no, it'd have to be something bigger and better. I think
Metroid Prime Federation Force.
Oh man, it's gonna happen! Blast Ball Championships.
Ball blast.
Who's blasting the best balls? Find out.
And we never mentioned that game got delayed. We never talked about that. So
there you go. A whole podcast.
We got a lot of time to talk about it coming up. That's for sure.
Yep.
Well, and you talk about the websites and stuff, and of course the myriad Nintendo-only YouTube channels. Like we're still in rumor territory, as you brought up. Like it's just
but some of these guys
rumors,
don't do rumors. Like Enthusiasts, they don't really do rumors, and
true. Yeah,
Nintendo Life doesn't really do rumors either.
Maybe they're about to change their game plan in the next couple months.
That's what I'm saying. That would be sad to me, and that would be Nintendo's fault.
Well, let me get some Nintendo fans excited. I'm just gonna say a YouTuber who's been on a break has got videos uploading right now. So I won't say who it is. I don't want to spoil it, but somebody, I think it's very exciting. We'll be back on YouTube with new videos tonight, at least one tonight.
I actually said that in my video about. Well, I wasn't talking about Red, or I just
blew it. Spoiler alert! Jesus,
I wasn't talking about this person, but it kind of sounded like I did, so I kind of cut that out of my video.
Oh yeah.
But I was talking about Nintendo fans who haven't put up videos in a long time.
Oh, it's already up, so we can say it's Red. Active Gamer.
Well, I wasn't waiting on. Oh yeah, I wasn't talking about him though. I was talking about like the saltier guys who don't do anything until there's bad news. Then they jump to YouTube. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's too bad for anyone who does that. That's too bad because
it sucks.
Yeah, you shouldn't just focus on the bad. I mean, it's tough because bad news gets views. I sometimes get fairly quick views on my videos, but I'll tell you right now, the one I put up today about the bad news got faster views than I normally get for my personal traffic.
Yeah, because people are tuned in right now.
People are tuned in, they're looking for bad news, And maybe that's why our Star Fox podcast did so well, because there's arguably some bad news around that, because so many people don't like it.
Yeah.
And so people love their bad shit.
I don't know if anyone heard me, but Active Gamer Life, his videos are up right now, so I wasn't spoiling nothing. So go check out. I'm going to watch those.
You jumped down my throat. Look at you.
He's just ready to attack.
We in 360 with me, who didn't have much to say, he put a video up too. So I guess he just wanted to have his own video. He wanted to have his time in the sun.
Without all the noise.
Yep, without our stupid opinions. Let's talk real quick about that new artwork. It's a similar shot of Link, but it's drawn complete. It looks completely.
Oh, with the arrow, where he's pulling the arrow. And
then there's just real random brushstrokes kind of fill in the background, which I wonder if those are going to be revealed to mean something later on.
Part of the game, like a mechanic or something.
Yeah. So what do you guys? Did you guys see that or look?
Yeah, it's actually I used part of it for my thumbnail for this video.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want that on a T-shirt. So let's that happen.
It's great.
Link looks a little bit older and definitely more male. I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, he definitely does.
He looks the style just reminds me of the Skyward Sword art.
Yeah.
Remember some of the art for that? How it looked arguably more badass than the actual game.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what it looks like to me. So maybe it's. Yeah, maybe it's meant to be like in line with that version of Link or a sequel to
Well,
Skyward
there's definitely some
Sword.
Skyward Swordness to this Zelda
Yeah.
new game, which you
The
can tell what
visual
like the
style.
right.
Yeah, but that's definitely a more mature, more
Oh yeah,
male Link.
I'm looking at it again. I'm pulling it up here to look at it again.
So that's interesting. Is that just concept art too, or is that going to be indicative of the new?
I feel like it'll be reflected in the game. That's kind of how Nintendo does those things. So,
Mhm.
and there's 2 different colors to those brush strokes. I wonder if there's a reason for that too.
Yeah. So actually, there's 3 different tones on my screen.
I'm also colorblind, so there could be 100, and I have no idea.
So it's just, are they Japanese characters, kind of all blended together? Is it just to make them stand out from the background? I don't know, but we'll find out.
It is a great looking drawing, man. It looks pretty sweet.
I mean, if the NX version looked just like that in motion, without jaggies or anything, that would be pretty appealing. I have to say.
Yeah, I'm willing to see what they're. We're gonna find out. Like one of the first things you said about Zelda at E3 is if we'd find out the title and all that stuff. And like I kind of said, I mean, it has to be. This has to be when they show us this stuff.
Oh yeah.
Miyamoto better put on a goddamn sword and shield again and start swinging around and hacking fools just like he did 10 years ago.
Damn straight.
Got to do it. That was
I mean, to me that was a bigger bummer is that this game's gonna miss the 30th anniversary.
Yeah, that too. We didn't even mention that.
That's what Twilight Princess was for, of course.
Yeah, they didn't.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
Nope.
All right, so we're gonna drop out here. Thanks to all the viewers. I didn't look for any questions. I didn't really want to. We already went longer than I wanted to, so look for more on this on Monday on the Juice is Loose.
Thanks to me for jumping in.
Yeah,
next 30 minutes.
We were probably looking at an hour, but that's all right. And don't get too mad. Let's wait. But also, it's okay to be bummed too. That you're not gonna be able to play Zelda this year.
I think disappointed is okay. Angry, that's a little bit tough.
Yeah, and if this made you give up on Nintendo, then that whatever. I don't have much to say, but yeah. So thank you guys for joining me on this impromptu East meets West. Why did I make such a freaking
West meets West?
I have such a hard time saying that. I need to change the name or something.
I should make that a title.
So yeah, we'll see everybody on Monday for the Juice is Loose. We'll talk about this more. So until then, peace out.